JR gets at it is Wednesday and we have our week 14 pick'em show where we get joined by Brandon. Good buddy Brandon. He's always here to help and everything, always here to give us a good hand and everything in making these weeks. Sorry about the last couple weeks. Like I said, it's the holiday season, so everybody just kind of has their own plans. Yesterday there, and I forgot to mention it, so I do apologize for yesterday that we're waiting for the Silver and Bro show. There was a season ticket member appreciation day, and you know, I went, as you can tell. I had a good time, and we did not do the show yesterday. But just a quick rundown of how it went. Raiders beat the Chargers. The Raiders are on a 3-game winning streak, and now we get to see how true they really are. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So I cannot wait to see how this goes today. Like I said, Brandon should be joining us here in a little bit. We're going to do our weekly picks and everything. So here we go. I will start this off while he is setting up himself. Thursday night football. Well, speaking of those Raiders, they have the Thursday night matchup tomorrow where they get to travel to SoFi again. Where they get to travel into SoFi and they get to enjoy and get ready for this new matchup against the Los Angeles Rams. Give me 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second. Oh, goodness. All right. Sorry about that, guys. A little bit of a technical difficulty here. Yeah, the Instagram thing has been really bugging out lately. I don't know why. But anyway, we'll worry about that later. We have a lot to kind of get through and everything. So I'll start off with this matchup. The Rams, like I said, and the Raiders are on tomorrow for Thursday night football. It should be exciting. It should be a fun game. Again, for the people on Instagram Live, I do apologize for that. I do not know what happened. But let's get to it. Raiders, Rams. It's the battle for Los Angeles, as people know that the Raiders were in LA back in the 80s and early 90s and everything. So, that happened. He's trying to join in, and I don't know what's going on here, folks. Let's see here. Bam. So, like I said, it's a battle of Los Angeles. Everybody's coming back and everything. And there he is. Brandon, what's happening, man?
What's up, man?
Sorry about that. I do not know what the heck happened. You were about to join, and then all of a sudden it just froze. I don't know.
It's cool, man. I understand.
Nah, but here we go. So, like I was saying, it's Las Vegas versus Los Angeles tomorrow. And heading into the season, you think it would much. Now look at it, it's like I don't know, man. I think it's the curse of Amazon Prime. But Brandon, give me your thoughts, man. Who do you got tomorrow for the matchup between the Raiders and the Rams?
Oh man. I got the team that doesn't have Baker Mayfield. How about that? I got that team. I got the Raiders winning this easily. Listen, it's gonna be way more Raiders jerseys in the crowd than it's gonna be Rams jerseys. Let's get that out of the way. So it's technically a home game for the Raiders. That's like obvious. It's just this is and you're putting Baker Mayfield, who you just signed literally a day or two ago, and you're saying he's gonna be the starter.
Well, they have no other choice. Matthew Stafford's down. Their backup quarterback got dinged up. They have no other choice. They have to throw something in there. You have to keep the fans entertained, at least. Entertain the idea.
I want to point out the fact that, yes, the Raiders on a 3-game winning streak. But don't forget that this is the same type of energy that they had last year when they got in the playoffs. And it ain't that far out of commission that they can get in the playoffs this year. So I got the Raiders winning this game and continuously rolling to the playoffs.
I wouldn't say. I mean, I do have the Raiders in this one too. I want to say rolling. I want to. I want to say rolling. I would say this. I think when you look at it, when you look at the Rams, I think this is going to be an amazing one-on-one matchup. You have Josh Jacobs that's about to go up against Bobby Wagner. You have Devontae Adams that's going to go up against Jalen Ramsey. So, I mean, it's there. I mean, the intrigue is there. My only concern is for the Los Angeles Rams right now. Baker Mayfield just got picked up literally yesterday. His first practice was today. I don't know about timing. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Raiders' run defense, put it this way, the defense has been improving as of late for the Raiders. Do I think that maybe running is going to probably be the only thing to save the Los Angeles Rams tomorrow? Maybe, possibly. Yeah. But it's just, eventually you're going to have to make some throws. And I'm not really too confident with when you just pick up a quarterback 2 days ago because you picked them up because you were afraid that the 49ers would pick them up because of that reason. So understand that this is where the Los Angeles Rams are at right now. And here's the deal. The report came out today. Aaron Donald ain't playing. Terrell Lewis, he ain't playing. The opposite corner of Jalen Ramsey, he ain't playing. So the Rams are kind of banged up. The Rams are no Cooper Kupp, no Matthew Stafford. Cam Akers is a hit or miss. We don't know. Van Jefferson is your only weapon of choice other than Taylor Higbee?
You know this better than I do. You were at the game Sunday. Chandler Jones came alive.
And that's scary to think.
With an offensive line that barely knows how to block already. For Baker Mayfield, this is going to be a very bad game to start out the game.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Chandler's been hearing the noise, and the Chargers' offensive line was banged up. The Rams' offensive line is banged up. The Raiders' offensive line looks healthy, and they look good. There's a reason why Josh Jacobs is number one in rushing attack. It's because that offensive line looks pretty damn good to me. I think if Aaron Donald was playing, I think, that could swing of things. But now that Aaron Donald's not playing, it's kind of scary to think where this matchup could end. And I don't want the Rams I don't want Baker Mayfield's first game as a Ram especially of all teams, the Raiders, I don't want that to happen to him. It's just, the thing is, the Rams picked him up because they were scared that he can go to the 49ers. And here's the thing about the 49ers. They really don't need a quarterback. They've clearly showed you that they can win without a quarterback. So it is what it is.
They were winning with the damn quarterback that they had, and everybody would praise Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm like, dude, he threw for like 100 yards. He didn't do shit. What are we praising?
So it is what it is. So, like I said, I think for me, I'm going to take the Raiders in this one. I think it's going to be a lot closer than what people think. I would be surprised if either the Rams or the Raiders got destroyed in tomorrow's game. I think this is probably going to be one of the more competitive matches of the Thursday night package we've gotten this year. I think so.
I can say that too, but it's like how much of the Rams, like you just said, once they kind of get them in like long third downs, who you throwing the ball to?
I mean, don't forget the Raiders do have deficiencies of covering the tight end, so maybe this is a game that Tyler Higbee can have. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, we'll see. I mean, we both got the Raiders because of health, all right, not because of skill or talent or anything like that. I think we just choose the Raiders because of health.
I got the Raiders because they're going to the playoffs. Well, I don't want to believe me, but I said this last year.
Okay, last year was 4 games. This year is 6 games. That's a big fucking gap.
Hold on. We want to stop acting like they didn't just beat the Chargers, who got to play Miami, and now Tua's hurt, and we don't know what the hell they gonna look like.
It's a weird game. That Sunday night matchup is going to be so weird, but we'll get to that later. But it looks like me and you both got the Raiders in this one.
Yeah, we got the Raiders.
Okay. So next up, oh god. Speaking of fun, we have the New York Jets taking on the Buffalo Bills. So Buffalo, another win. Good job. The Jets, not so good. Not good this time. They didn't look like the Jets, when they were taking on a very, very terrible team. Now the Jets played a very competitive team, and
Can we be honest? They came back in that game. Minnesota should have blew the hell out of the Jets. They came back in that game. Congratulations. Mike White is going to clearly keep the job now. Congrats. I don't know what else to say.
I don't know where you go here if you're the Jets. So, and we just found out that Von Miller is going to go to end the season on IR. So, I mean, it is what it is. So, Brandon, I ask you, who do you got, the Jets or the Bills?
I got the Bills. They're at home.
Yeah, I got nothing. I mean, I'm gonna go with you on this one as well. I got the
They're at home.
I got the Bills.
Listen,
I think.
listen.
Go ahead.
I think for the most part, the Bills are starting to have like a run game, which is scary. I want to just point out, you said this at the beginning of the year. James Cook, when we were doing a draft preview, you said James Cook is going to be one of the best running backs coming out of the college. I think he's going to take Devin Singletary's job. I think he's going to be the number one running back by the time they get into the playoffs because he fits and he could actually absorb the punishment that Josh Allen is supposed to. He's bigger than Devin Singletary. He can also catch.
Yeah.
I think he's going to take that job. And
I think, when it comes to running backs and coming out of college, I mean, there's only a few instances where some are just ready to play in the NFL.
Yeah.
With others, it takes a minute. I mean, remember, Derrick Henry was like the backup to DeMarco Murray for like 2 years because he wasn't ready. Understand the sentence I just said. Derrick Henry was the backup to DeMarco Murray for the first 2 years.
Listen. Tennessee will never remember that.
No, nobody will. I do because I have a pretty good memory.
We will remember that.
I have a pretty good fucking memory. So, but, when it comes to this, I mean, I think James Cook, I think what it is now, he's trying to fight his footing. And I think he finally found something where he can go off on. Against the Detroit Lions, he looked good. Last week, he looked good. It's just one of those things where I think the James Cook is starting to little by little puncture his way through becoming an NFL running back. And I'm going to go with the Bills on this one too, only due to the fact that it's not going to be the same. It's not the same Jets team that beat them last time. No Breece Hall. Not a lot of good offensive on the outside. Mike White can only do so much.
Yeah, they just lost one of their tackles. Their offensive tackles.
And here's the thing. Ed Oliver is actually coming alive too. With that, everybody else has been doing their thing. The edges have been doing their thing. The linebackers have been doing the thing. The safeties, the corners, they've all been doing their thing. All right, Tre'Davious White is back. The only guy that was missing was Ed Oliver, and he's finally starting to get it. It's like he's finally starting to come alive. So in the end, really, Buffalo looks way better right now than the New York Jets do. And even though the Jets have the upper hand right now, the Bills can come in, win this game, and they could be right back in the swing of things of getting home field advantage, which they desperately need now. So I'm going to go with Buffalo on this one.
Buffalo.
All right.
The Jets making the playoffs. I got Buffalo winning.
It's going to be very hard for me to believe that the Jets can make the playoffs right now. It's just so bad with riddled injuries. That's the worst time.
Are making the playoffs.
Oh, I mean, I think only due to the fact because we don't know what Miami is now, and we know what the Patriots are. So again, you could be right. It's just so hard.
I'm telling you right now, Raiders and the Jets are making the playoffs.
And that's the thing. I think everybody would have more faith in the Raiders making the playoffs right now because of how well they've been playing.
I'm telling people right now, Raiders and the Jets.
So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. All right, so we're just going to move on to this next game. Look, man, it's the Cleveland Browns taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Cleveland, you beat the Texans. Good shit. What's their record against winning with teams with winning records? What are they, like 0-4, 0-5? What is Cincinnati? Does Cincinnati have a winning record? Last time I checked, yeah, right? And how'd they look against the Chiefs last week?
Really fucking good.
All right, cool. Give me the Bengals. Cool. We're good. I'm good on this one.
Listen, I think Deshaun Watson kind of getting this rust off. He didn't play good. Let's just be real. He just did not play good.
No.
I don't think it's going to be the game he plays good either. I think he's going to have maybe like 200 yards, but he's not going to look good in this game.
Do you think Cleveland has to be looking at this right now and be like, do you think maybe we should have just let Jacoby finish off the year and see what we got just in case?
Listen, you threw this man back. No, you got to deal with it now. You got him back. You got to deal with it now. You know and done with.
I mean, I get it. You're paying him a lot of money, but it's not like the offense was struggling with him.
Yeah, true.
I get it. You're paying Deshaun Watson a lot of money. He's back from the suspension. I get all that, but it's just
Yeah.
I mean, what was literally 5 more games without Deshaun Watson at this point?
You're not making a playoff, so it doesn't make any sense to have him now. Listen, I get it. Like I said, like you had to put him in the game, I guess, because you owed it to him, I guess.
And you would think like he would look at least halfway decent against the Texans. He did not. He did not look good. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying as far as everything else is concerned. So I got Cincinnati only due to the reason that their defense is actually coming alive. And the offense has Jamar Chase back. So we're good. We're good.
Angel Mixon might play this week. So if he comes back too,
Oh.
holy shit.
Oh.
And you gotta remember, like the time they beat Cincinnati early in this year, Cleveland did. That was the first game without Jamar Chase. So literally, Joe Burrow didn't have no idea T. Higgins was going to become T. Higgins. So he didn't know. He didn't physically know.
Yeah, I think Justin Reed screwed up on that one. Like, you should have known. Like, I know you just got there, but you should have known who T. Higgins is. Like, put some respect on T. Higgins' name. Like, come on, be real. Like, two seasons. He's been in the league for 3. He's on the verge of getting almost another 1,000 yards, depending on how these weeks go. So again, put some respect on T. Higgins' name. That's all I'm saying, Justin. But yeah, I got the Bengals over the Browns.
I guess it's not close.
All right, let's move on because we got another one that I just want to move on from too. The Houston Texans taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Battle of Texas. Houston is doing everything they can to hold on to that number 1 spot, and they're doing a really good job of trying to hold on to that number 1 spot. Dallas is doing everything they can to keep afloat with the Philadelphia Eagles to try to maybe make it a game to maybe who wins the NFC East. I don't know. So Brandon, me and you both have Dallas, right?
Did you see Dallas Sunday night against Matt Ryan? Kyle Allen. This is gonna be an ass whooping.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
It's gonna be an ass whooping of epic proportion.
Well, actually, no. They actually just reported that David Mills is going to start.
This is gonna be an ass whooping of epic.
Yeah, Houston's doing everything they can to either make a decision on either CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. Like, listen, Houston's doing everything they can to even do their homework on either CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. Like, that's it. Those are the top 2 choices, folks. So have at it. Have at it, Houston. It's all yours, my man. It's all yours.
Oh, my God.
So it is what it is. Yeah, I got Dallas too. Look, not because Dallas is a superior team or anything like that. It's the fucking Houston Texans. Like, let's be real, man. Like, let's be real right now. They are so bad. Like,
I got Michael Parsons over the Houston Texans. That's who the fuck I got.
Yeah.
Michael Parsons just rolling inside.
I'm doing everything. You see my face right now when you said that name right now. It's like, oh my God. Oh. Yeah, next year. Okay, yeah, cool. All right, so we both got Dallas. This one I'm actually kind of intrigued. So it's Minnesota taking on Detroit. Don't look now, Brandon, but guess who's sniffing around in the hunt? Those pesky Lions, man. Yeah, those Lions, man. The train I jumped off after the New England game where they got shut out, and yeah, they're hanging around, man. They are hanging around. But let's get to it. Minnesota, they beat the Jets last week on a defensive stop to end the game. Kudos to them. The Detroit Lions almost beat Buffalo on Thanksgiving. They won. Okay, they didn't win against Jacksonville. They abolished. And it's safe to say that I think Jacksonville fucked up on the number one overall pick. Like they messed up.
Don't you tell all of these sports reporters that Trevor Lawrence might be the wrong pick that they just fucking drafted.
I was actually talking about the Walker pick. But when I said number one, it doesn't really matter because they look like they messed up entirely for 2 straight years on number one picks. So
at least they won't have the number one pick this year. It's gonna be Houston's fuck up.
yeah, it's gonna be Houston's fault now. And Detroit, again, I love what Aiden Hutchinson said. He pretty much said that, only because Walker's arms were longer than his, that's why they had the edge over him. And clearly it showed that it didn't. The motherfucker can have 2 sets of arms, and it still probably wouldn't be enough over Aiden Hutchinson's overall skill. Yeah, look, I had a very hard time picking on this one. So, Brandon, that's why I'm going to go to you first. Brandon, who do you got?
I got Detroit. Are we really having this conversation? I got Detroit.
Mm.
I got Detroit. Listen, yes, TJ Hockenson is back in Detroit for the first time since getting traded to Minnesota, which is the weirdest fucking shit I ever heard. But that's so fucking weird. I don't understand that point. But yes, I got Detroit. Listen, the first time these two teams played, let's be real, Minnesota didn't beat them outright. This was a back and forth game for most of the game. And I think Minnesota is showing you exactly who they are. We can talk about how the Jets played them last week. They were supposed to blow the Jets out in that game.
They should have. They should have.
They should have blown them out. And then the second half came, and Kirk Cousins just became Kirk Cousins again. And that's the thing about Minnesota. It's sums up with Minnesota. This is why nobody trusts them against the Super Bowl, because even with that record, they are not still that good team. I think Detroit has something to play for, and like you just said, they're not going to win a division, but they can get in the playoffs. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to be surprised if they.
Because here's the thing. I mean, when you really look at the separation between them and the last seeds, it's really not that bad. And here's the crazy thing about Detroit. This is the crazy thing. They added Williamson, their first-round pick wide receiver this year. And you could tell that Jacksonville had to respect that because of the speed that he has. And it had just opened it up for her. You think TJ Hockenson is going to look at this right now and be like, dude, if I was still there, I would get more single coverage. I would get more single coverage if I was still in Detroit. And I'm going to be honest with you. That Jameson Williams now being on the team, it opened my eyes very quick that, damn, Detroit, let's be real. Throughout this whole year, Detroit can score on anybody. If you didn't, look at Detroit's record and you just saw the names that Detroit has on offense, those guys can score. And they can score a lot. There's no stopping that, yes, New England did it because it was a bad week. Whatever. And I admit that that's a fault. That's one. But when you look at every other game, Detroit scores and scores. It seems like every drive. I think they showed it up. They had 5 out of every 6 drives ends in a touchdown. And that 6th one either ends in a field goal or a punt. So either way, they're still getting points. They're scoring in the bunches. Minnesota's just too inconsistent for me, man. They're too inconsistent. I get it. I love Justin Jefferson. I love Dalvin Cook. I love TJ Hockenson. I love the offensive line that they have because they play very well. That offensive line is one of the most underrated offensive lines in the league. But I'm going to be honest with you. I think something's clicking in Detroit, offensively, defensively, and special teams, that is starting to scare me a little bit. I'm not going to jump on the train yet. But I'm going to pick Detroit this week. And if they win, I'll be a believer again. I'll be a believer.
I'm moving further and further up on the train. I was way in the back after the Patriots game. Now I'm kind of moving up a little bit. I'm still on the train. I'm still at the station. I'm still at the station. So if they lose, then I'm just going to pick up my bag, go home again.
Because then it's like, all right, I've seen enough. But yeah, I'm going to go with Detroit on this one. I'm going to go with Detroit.
I need people to truly understand something though. Like Minnesota might be inconsistent and they might have these moments, but Detroit is starting to be the team we actually thought they would have been. And now they got a consistent run game, which is something that a lot of these teams don't really have.
Yes.
And on top of that, they beat the Giants and Washington already. So if they do get back up there in the rankings, they have the tiebreaker over not just the Giants, but Washington too.
Yeah.
So they can jump both of them.
Yeah. And that's not out of the realms of possibilities right now. So, yeah, I got the Lions. I got the Lions on this one. We're going to move on with this one. The Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Tennessee Titans. Listen, Jaguars just... I'm trying to find the words to describe the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, I'm really trying to understand how you can really mess up 2 first overall. Like, okay, when we did the whole Trevor, like when we did the mock draft, and we all knew, we said Trevor Lawrence was going to go number 1 because that was so easy. Yeah. At that time, it was like, dude, if you're going to go for franchise, go for Justin Fields. Go for, I don't know, maybe a Mac Jones, maybe a Zach Wilson, but you could trade down. You don't have to waste it on number 1. You could trade down to get those guys. But Jacksonville was just so head on. And you want to know when I knew it was over? When Trevor Lawrence did not want to pick up the phone call from Urban Meyer. And then you picked Walker because his arms were longer than Aiden Hutchinson. Jacksonville, you deserve this. You deserve this. You deserve, and this is why I'm glad you won a few more games. So that way you don't fuck up a kid's future. Like, I honestly hope to God first round pick somebody to another team and don't fuck up another kid's future. Like, to the point where they don't love football anymore. That's where I'm at with it. Jalen verge of retirement until he got traded to Los Angeles. Keep that in mind. So anyway, the Tennessee Titans, they're rolling. Look, here's the deal for me. One has Derrick Henry, the other doesn't. I got Tennessee. That's my analysis of this game.
Tennessee looked pretty bad last week against Philly. Not just gonna skip over that. Like that game didn't happen. That was
no. I mean, it happened, but the difference is one is the Philadelphia Eagles. One of them is the Jacksonville. Look, I want you to look at my hand. One of them is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Listen,
my hand is in my living room right now, and it's pretty fucking far away. All right, like that's how far it is right now.
I got Tennessee. They're at home. It's Derrick Henry. And for the most part, if Ryan Tannehill literally just don't screw up this game, they're gonna win. Treylon Burks, by the way, is also starting to get himself going. So
yeah, I mean, he took a nasty hit though. I mean, that was bad. I was like, that hurt.
It's Philly. You said that perfectly. It's Philly.
Like, dude. Yeah, that hurt. That hurt me, to be honest with you. That fucking hurt me, man. What the hell, dude? Anyway, look, I got Tennessee as well. One has Derrick Henry, the other doesn't. And this is in the midst of the Tennessee Titans firing their general manager. Who, by the way, Tennessee hasn't had a losing record since he was the general manager, and they still fired him because of mishaps. And that's how you know the NFL's cutthroat. Hey, we haven't had a losing season in like 7 years, but we're still gonna let you go.
The mishap was trade AJ Brown.
The man literally drafted AJ Brown in the 2nd round. AJ Brown gave him a few cheap seasons, and he turned that into a 1st rounder. I don't know how a man gets fired after that. But anyway, that's not my call. Next up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the New York Giants. Philly's gonna be Philly. They looked amazing. The Giants tied the Commanders. I have no other words what to say. So, Brandon, who do you got, my man? Philly or the Giants?
Is that a question? I got Philly.
Okay.
One team got Jalen Hurts and the other team got Daniel Jones. Which one you like?
And it's not only that. The Giants defense has been a little downplayed lately. The offense for the Giants is not looking good. Saquon is not. He's trying his best here, but there's only so much the man can do,
Yeah.
And I think when it comes down to it, Daniel Jones is going to have to step up in this case. Now, the problem is that the Philadelphia Eagles have a really legit defense. I mean, really legit. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles on this one, too, only because of the fact that team-wise, at this point of the year, here's the scary thing. How crazy is it that Jordan Davis came back and all of a sudden Tennessee could not run the ball? That's what he was meant to be in Philadelphia, folks. That's why he's there, folks. That's why he's there. So, yeah, give me the Philadelphia Eagles over the New Jersey. It's just, the Giants, they're just too inconsistent for me. I mean, maybe they'll shock the world this week because, I don't know, maybe they have a few plays stashed or something. I don't know what else to say. But the problem is it's Saquon Barkley and then everybody else on the Giants. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about the Giants this year.
This is the game where we see Philly fly high.
Establish dominance over their division.
Just beat the living hell out the Giants.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, this is not going to end well for the Giants. I do not see a good game for the Giants.
I mean, it is what it is.
Daniel Jones has got to be the guy.
And he has not shown that in 5 years.
He's not the guy.
Yeah, he's not. He's not. So it is what it is. Next up, we got the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Baltimore winning last week against the Denver Broncos in a grueling 10-9 matchup. But they lose Lamar Jackson in the process. The Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Atlanta Falcons in a grueling 19-6 match. Oh, my God. Like, put it this way. I think the results would have been the same. If Atlanta was up 19-16 and Kenny Pickett throws that throw, he would have gotten intercepted too. So, just kudos to Kenny Pickett for not turning the ball over as much. So, the kudos. Good job. By the way, did anybody see that mean stiff arm that Najee Harris laid on the poor?
Good God.
That was nasty. That was gross, man. I'm like, yeah, that's
It's ridiculous.
like, come on, leave my man alone. He has a family, for God's sakes. Leave the man alone. Here we go. We gotta go Steelers. So here we go. Brandon, I ask you, who do you have more faith in? A Lamar Jackson-less Baltimore Ravens or a Kenny still learning Pickett Pittsburgh offense? Because both defenses are going to play. Just which one do you believe in more? Yeah, that's really what it came down for me as well. Home field, the crowds are going to get behind you. It's Baltimore coming into it. You don't want to lose this one.
It feels like Baltimore last year. Don't it feel like that?
It feels like it.
Like Lamar gets injured late. He can't play in certain games that really they need to win.
And Baltimore needs this one.
And Cincinnati is right there. It's just like
no, Cincinnati can take the North, dog. Like
Cincinnati takes the division. It's like, damn, did we just go to another year? It's the same shit. It's just like, and Pittsburgh has a chance to do it to them, take them completely out of playoffs, which is a reason why I don't see Baltimore making playoffs this year. Because this just feels like last year. It's just like too many I don't knows, too many questions. It's just too.
And now, if you're really thinking about it, and I remember I mentioned this to you last year. I mentioned this to you in the middle of the season. If John Harbaugh misses the playoffs this year, there's no excuses anymore. I think it's time for a new I mean, let's be real.
Let's be real about a lot. Baltimore's going to have a lot of questions, way more than answers, going into the offseason.
So,
Lamar, John, is a lot of questions they're going to have to ask themselves because you pretty much invested into a head coach that right now seems like his message is falling on deaf ears.
It ain't working. I don't think it's working. Listen, John Harbaugh gave the Baltimore Ravens so many great years, but sometimes it just runs its course. And with a team this talented like the Baltimore Ravens have, to miss the playoffs again, this ownership's going to have to eventually say, listen, John, you gave us great years, but we've missed the playoffs more recently. Since our last Super Bowl run, we have missed the playoffs almost as much as we made the playoffs. And in this business, it's not about what you've done, it's what you've done for me lately. And I think there has to be a real discussion if John Harbaugh is safe being the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens heading into next year. I'm just saying, everybody might look at that as a surprise. I will be the first one to tell you I'm not surprised at all.
I want to also say, we've also been on here saying how Pittsburgh goes at Mike Tomlin, but you don't really hear that a lot about Baltimore. But I think it's going to get louder for Baltimore than Pittsburgh. And I actually want people to understand something. Pittsburgh's on a winning streak. People don't understand. Pittsburgh's on a winning streak. Like, Pittsburgh can actually make the playoffs.
I mean, they're not going to be a much threat in the playoffs, but if they go in, then hey, guess what? They're in.
And we also said Najee Harris, where the hell have you been?
Najee Harris hasn't been on the up and up lately.
He's alive.
He's alive, folks. Najee Harris is alive. So yes, I got the Steelers in this one too, only because they're at home and it's just what it is.
Yeah, I don't know about Baltimore. Offensively, without Lamar, or like with Lamar, you want to score 3 points. Like, yes, there was a really good defense, but you only scored 3 points. Now you don't have them at all with TJ Watt coming at you. I don't see this as a good game for Baltimore.
We could probably move on from this one too. Kansas City taking on the Denver Broncos. Listen, Kansas City, they played a very well. They tried to play a very good game against the Cincinnati Bengals. And we talked about this the last time. We talked about this on our show, on our Tuesday show, where we found Kansas City's kryptonite. It's called the Cincinnati Bengals. Listen, one time beating you at home, that may be lucky. 2 times in a row beating you in the AFC Championship game, there might be something there. Now, you try to beat them at their house and they beat you 3 times in a row? Yeah, sorry. Cincinnati owns the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm just, as much as people might love Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and all that stuff, no. Cincinnati owns the Kansas City Chiefs. Cincinnati, listen, everybody wants to say, when is Lamar going to beat the Chiefs? Like, when is Lamar going to take the next step and beat the Chiefs in the playoffs? When is Josh Allen going to take the next step and beat the Chiefs in the playoffs? No. I know what I want now. If I'm going to go into the playoffs and I got to go to Arrowhead and I need a quarterback to make a play for me, I'm taking Joe fucking Burrow. All right, I'm taking Joe Burrow. That's why he was number 1 for a reason, folks. There's a reason for it. It's not because Joe Burrow is the Kansas City killer. All right, like he is the KCK to the KFC. Whatever you want to say, that's what it is. But Kansas City, it does have a good week to rebound. They are taking on the Denver Broncos.
A good week, they have a great week.
Listen, I don't care how great Denver's defense is this week. Like, understand this. I have been on the verge of saying, the Denver defense is one of the better defenses in the whole fucking league.
Oh, my God.
But you're not going to sit here and tell me that Kansas City is looking forward to this. I got Kansas City. I don't care if they have 0 wide receivers and they only have 5 tight ends. I still got Kansas City.
I said last week, if Kansas City lost to Cincinnati, I can see Cincinnati getting the number 1 seed because they got Buffalo coming to them and they got Baltimore coming to them at the end of the year. And if Kansas City slip at any moment, now they got the tiebreak over probably all 3 of those teams. Yeah, I think Cincinnati gets the number 1 seed. But Denver can't score. Like at all. Like, they can't score
Denver can't football at all. Like, what is this?
And they're playing JV. What the fuck is going on, man?
Like, you know, like every time I hear that Bronco Country, let's ride, I picture the ride of, you know, like amusement park rides falling off. Like this. I think about the first time I stepped behind the wheel. It was a very shitty ride. Like that's what I think of when I hear Russell Wilson this year saying Bronco Country, let's ride. Like, nah, I'm gonna pat. Like, you remember I don't know if you were old enough to remember the old insurance called Survival. You remember that commercial? The one where it's a lady in the red Corvette and there's a dude with a leather jacket and white shirt and pants, you know, total greaser looking dude. And you know, the lady in the Corvette, you know, she pulls up and he says, "Do you need a ride? Are you insured?" By Survival? No, I can't take that ride. I'm pretty sure that's all every Denver Bronco field fans were like, yo, Russell. Like if Russell Wilson were to be like, you need a quarterback? Are you playing? Yes. Then I'm not. Then I'm not. Yeah, give me the Kansas City Chiefs over the. Yeah, give me the Kansas City Chiefs over the Denver Broncos. I'm good. I'm good.
I've never seen a person get his entire career criticized.
I'm not criticizing his entire career. I'm just criticizing the fuck is happening this year. No, Pete Carroll's still not right. Like let's not get it twisted. Like Seattle could still miss the playoffs. So
Seattle could definitely miss the playoffs. Denver is out of the goddamn playoffs. We know goddamn where they got.
okay, let's be real. Denver is still mathematically in. We're just waiting until they lose, until like ESPN confirms it. Like, okay, now due to math, they are mathematically out. No, nah, homie, they were mathematically out since like week 8, homie. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, nah, homie, that's just not gonna ride with me, bro.
This is. I imagine the Broncos, the Bronco country that's ride like the Incredible Hulk ride at Disney World. Like, just a lot of fucking confusion. It's just not working.
It's just nothing there. It's like the freaking Buzz Lightyear blasters. You know, you're just moving the stuff around. You don't know what the fuck is going on.
Like, it's a small world after all shit. Like, it's just a really bad ride. It's not good. You don't want to take pictures. You're just mad all the time.
You're mad at Disney World. You're mad at the Denver Broncos Stadium. Like, you're just mad. Like, right now, like, I have friends that are Bronco fans, and they're bitter right now. You know, I told them Happy Thanksgiving, and they didn't even text me back. Like, they're just bitter right now. And I don't blame them. They're just bitter. And that's okay. Because they're stuck with them for the next 5 years. So, hey. I mean, unless you want to cut them now, but you're going to have to take the dead cap hit of $130 million.
I mean, they're going to try to cut the coach first before they
Yeah, about that. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I got Kansas City.
Denver can't even score, like, at all. Kansas City can score at will. I don't know what the hell this is. Yo, I feel like Denver fans are going to go to the stadium for, like, the first quarter and be like, yeah, this shit's over. We're going to go ahead.
We're just going to go ahead and, go ahead and get back out there, you know? Like, it is what it is. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
It's going to get to the point where they're like, we're just here to see Patrick Mahomes. I don't give a shit. We're just here to
like, I just want to know I just wanted to see what an offense looks like. Ah, beautiful. All right, I'm going home now.
Oh my god, this is bad.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, can you imagine if it was a Kansas City, they might have that thing. Due to the excessive scoring, we no longer have fireworks. Thank God it's in Denver, all right? Like, that's the only positive about this. Thank God it's in Denver. Next up, oh my god. First drive, they're gonna be like, yo, get the fuck out of here. out of here.
Like, yeah, this shit's not working.
Like, if I was a head coach of Denver, I will put Vontae Davis and just retire at halftime and shit. Just take off all my shit, take a shower, grab my gear, get on the plane, just go home. Like, just drive home and be like, all right, honey, put the house up for sale. We're out of here.
God, it's gonna be bad.
Oh God. All right. So we both got Kansas City. Let's just leave it at that. Next up, oh my God. Oh my God. Dude, when are the this is just the week. This is the week. This is the week. Okay. Next up, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Tampa Bay, last second victory over the New Orleans Saints on Monday night. Sorry, Brandon. Are now going to take on the San Francisco 49ers, who have no Trey Lance, no Jimmy G, but they got Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, starting the game. Rookie of Iowa. Iowa State. My bad. He was a Cyclone, I believe. Look. What do you want me to say? No, like, really, what do you want me to say? Like, Tampa Bay's offense only looks good for like spurts, and the rest looks terrible. And I get it. One has Tom Brady and one has Brock Purdy. If this was maybe like 5 years ago, that would mean something. Doesn't mean anything to me right now. Don't get it twisted. I love Tom Brady. He's one of the best to. He is probably the best to ever fucking do it. But let's not sit up here. But let's not sit up here and act like Tom Brady is not happening. Hey, Tom, I will always love what he did for the game of football. But let's not act like this kind of looks like Peyton Manning on his last year. Like, Jesus, the only reason that they haven't switched anybody is because Tampa Bay ain't got nobody else. They're not going to put Blaine Gabbert over fucking Tom Brady. Let's not get this twisted, folks. All right? And the 49ers, listen, their defense, everybody wants to believe that the 49ers season is over. It is not. The problem is they won with Jimmy G, folks, because of a great defense and a great running game. What is going to change? What's going to change? Nothing. Brock Purdy is about to show every 49er fan how easy it is to be the quarterback for the 49ers right now. I hand the ball off. The defense gives me the ball back. I hand it off again. I do a simple throw here. We win the game. That is the life of the San Francisco quarterback right now. Very easy. So, Brandon, I ask you, do you got Tampa Bay or do you got the 49ers?
That's a real question.
That's real, dude. Somebody has to win this game. God, I can't believe I said that. Somebody has to win this game.
I want to just point out, Fox, I know you're going to post Tom Brady's stats against this rookie and be like, Tom Brady started 557 games. This rookie starting his first game. I see.
Brock Purdy wasn't born before. He was 2, 3. Listen. I don't need a history lesson. Just give it to me straight.
When Tom won his first Super Bowl, the dude was still in the womb.
Dude was still swimming in his daddy's nutsack. Like, I don't need to hear all that shit. I don't need to hear all that shit. Like, look, just give Brock Purdy. Like, listen, Brock Purdy's in the NFL. That's a good enough accomplishment. Enough, okay? Give the man a chance to breathe.
Listen, Tom Brady, God bless him. He's 45 years old. He's still playing at, I can't even say a height. I mean, the Saints just shit the bed something Monday. That was pretty much the worst offense I've seen. Like, you go for it on 2nd and 7 with no receivers on the field for play action. That was the dumbest shit I've seen.
Tampa Bay's going to understand there's a big difference between the Saints defense and the 49ers defense. Like, DeMario Davis is not Fred Warner.
That much of a difference. Like, the same defense was kind of shutting the shit out of Tampa Bay. They were not doing shit for most of that game.
Like, how many sacks did Tampa Bay's offensive line give up? I guess the Saints, what was it, 5? 6?
Something like that,
It might double, to be honest with you.
Listen, I believe that Tampa Bay is now going to win the division because there's literally nobody else left standing. Somebody's
gonna walk into Tampa Bay with a better record than them and be like, why the fuck are we here?
You know what's the funniest shit? Is that Tampa Bay can literally play Dallas or Philly for the first wild card game. And they're gonna be looking around like, how the fuck are we the wild card?
Fire the cannons. Yeah, whatever you gotta do, take this L real quick.
But you hit the nail on the head. It doesn't matter who's the quarterback in San Francisco. All you gotta do is not fuck up the game plan. That's as simple as that. Just don't fuck up the game plan. I saw Jimmy Garoppolo literally have a playoff game. The NFC Championship game against the Green Bay Packers. He threw the ball 8 times. That was it. I'm expecting that's going to be the same treatment in this game. I do not have Tampa Bay winning this game. I got San Francisco in a row.
I mean, it sucks for Tampa, but I mean, it's good for them because they're still going to win the division, like you said. It's just they're either going to play Philly, Dallas, maybe Washington. And they're going to look around and they're going to be like, you don't think Washington wants to go back to Tampa Bay and be like, oh, yeah? Like, God. Like, remember me? Like, come on, man. So, it is what it is. And lastly, the last afternoon game of the evening, it's the Carolina Panthers, who are now going to roll with Sam Darnold as the starting quarterback until PJ Walker gets healthy. And that's probably never now. They're going to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle with a great win over the Los Angeles Rams. I don't know what you want me to say about Carolina that hasn't already been said. So, Brandon, we both have Seattle, right? Right.
Seattle is at home. I don't know if Kenny Walker is playing or not, but I still got Seattle. I mean, shit. He's playing or not. Geno Smith, by the way, should be in the MVP conversation. And he's not, and it's shocking.
I think we can settle down on that. I think we can settle down. It's okay. It's okay. I don't think the world's ready for Geno Smith MVP in the same sense. Like nobody.
I'm not saying he should be the MVP. I'm saying he should be in the conversation.
I don't think nobody's even ready for that. I don't think anybody is ready for that conversation. But anyway, yeah. Look, Kenneth Walker, Johnny Walker, hell, even Paul Walker could be playing this. And I would still take Seattle because, Carolina's just bad, man. Carolina's just bad. There's no other way to say it. Like, I mean, look, we know what Carolina's doing. Like, here's the thing that Carolina messed up on is that they beat Denver. And now there's a possibility they might not even get a chance at either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. Because remember, prior to beating Denver, they were number 3. It was Houston, Chicago, Carolina. And it was going to go quarterback, Will Anderson, quarterback. So Carolina was just going to have to chill there, get their quarterback, you're good. But now that you beat Denver and you're kind of like, everybody else is losing now, you're kind of in that position now where like, well, do we still take a quarterback? Or do we just take BPA? You screwed yourselves out of that one, Carolina. You screwed yourselves. And congrats. But give me Seattle. Give me Seattle in this case. So a lot of time, a lot of football left. So who knows? Maybe Denver, maybe the Rams could pick up a win somewhere. And just, maybe Carolina can get back into that 3 conversation. Because Carolina needs to get back into that 3 conversation to take the quarterback. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, folks. So.
But then we talk about this Walker. John Walker, really? The liquor?
Yeah, the liquor man, Johnny Walker. Like, here you go. I'm like, shit, here you go, man. The liquor? Really? The hard liquor whiskey? That guy?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I got Seattle in this one, and it's not even close. So there it is.
Okay, yeah.
Look, Sunday Night Football. Jonathan, what's going on, man? Listen, we're on Sunday Night Football. It's the Miami Dolphins taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. The Dolphins losing to the 49ers last week. There's not much more I can say about that. We don't know the extent of Tua's injury. He could play, he could not. The Los Angeles Chargers, bummer. Bummer, man. There's no other way to put it but bummer, man. Like, they're probably like on that. Like, remember when we talked last week about like them possibly losing to the Raiders, and they're probably on that flight home going, did they just end our playoff dreams again? It would be a real shame. It'd be a real shame if the Raiders make the playoffs and the Chargers don't. And they're going to be like, clearly something's not working. Something's not working. So, so the Chargers, they went for some barbecue chicken and they came out with sand. That's the best way I could put the Chargers right now, especially for one Mr. Keenan Allen, who apparently loves barbecue chicken, but whatever. That's on him, barbecue chicken. That's all I can say is barbecue chicken. But yeah, so Brandon, I ask you, who do you got, Miami or the Chargers?
Even with a banged up tour, I got Miami. I got Miami. Listen, I get it. Justin Herbert's gonna feel some type of weight. He's finally playing tour. The man that was drafted in front of him. Who freaking who? I don't care.
Who?
I don't give a damn. The Chargers, this is kind of like the Chargers. This is the moment where you start shitting the bed and can't make the playoffs. Last week was just one of the examples. This is another. I don't trust the Chargers offense. Defensively, damn sure don't trust them against a running game like Miami. Miami couldn't do any of that shit to San Francisco because San Francisco does the same shit that Miami does.
And I think they've been playing that just a little bit longer and better than that.
They kind of know what you're doing. So, I mean, listen, I got Miami in this game. I don't expect this game to be a super high-scoring game either. Like, I just expect this game to be very 20 points, 23 points. Like, I don't expect a crazy scoring game for me to decide, but Miami's going to win.
It's just, I mean, all I can say is Brandon Staley's only got a job for about like 5 more weeks, and then he's going to get fired.
And by the way, Chargers, I have a head coach in New Orleans that's named Sean Payton. All you got to do is give us your first-round pick, and y'all have y'all like in the top. Y'all just need to keep losing a little bit and get like in the top 10. But y'all can have them. Y'all can have them.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. When it comes to the Chargers right now, it's so depressing because it's like, dude, they're so talented, and it's like, wow. And let's not get it twisted. I know the score said 27-20 that the Raiders won. If you watch that game, Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams were like, really? This is what it is? Cool. Here we go. Yeah, it sucked. If you guys don't mind, who was your guys' pick for the Thursday night games? Me and Brandon, we both took the Raiders Brandon thinks that the Raiders are going to run over the Los Angeles Rams. I think it's going to be a lot closer than what people think, but I mean, we'll see. But we both have the Raiders on this one.
I got Devontae Adams just absolutely making Jalen Ramsey look like Stephon Diggs and Jalen Ramsey. Just a lot of confusion on Jalen Ramsey's face. Like, what the fuck happened? what the fuck happened? I thought you had him. It's just a lot of confusion on Jalen Ramsey's face.
Yeah, I will say that. So, so I think for when it comes to the Miami and Los Angeles game, oh my God, this is so bad. I want to say Joey Bosa's coming back. I think Joey Bosa's coming back. He's eligible to return to come back. I don't know if he does, but I don't know if you noticed, but the other, you know how Gregory Rousseau from Miami is doing really well in Buffalo? Well, Miami's got one of those guys too, and his name's Jalen Phillips. And he's actually turning into a pretty good defensive end. And Christian Wilkins is actually living up to his first round talent finally after this year. So, as long as the Chargers' offensive line is like wicked banged up, I'm going to go with Miami and whatever defensive line front you got because, nah, son. Nah, that's just not going to fly with me.
I think Justin Herbert was like, Bradley Chubb's out of the division. You got to play him in Miami. Shit.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, shit.
Yep, that's what it is. And here's the thing. That offensive line for the Chargers, put it this way. Chandler Jones, Jerry Tillery, Nichols all got a sack. You know who didn't get a sack? Max Crosby. And it's not from lack of effort. Like, Max Crosby was in Justin Herbert's face all game. Let's not get this twisted. The problem is like, damn. Like, you focused all your time on blocking this one guy, and here's this one guy getting 3 sacks. It was not going to be a good day for the Chargers. It's not going to be a good day for Justin Herbert as long as that offensive line is still banged up. So I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins on this one. And lastly, Monday night. Oh, what? I'm telling you, man, they just threw these games at random. How the hell is Arizona back on Monday night? Anyway, we got the New England Patriots taking on the Arizona Cardinals on Monday night. New England, as you know, their defense is fine. That offense and Matt Patricia is just... It's just not for me. It's just not for me, man. Arizona... if the Chargers lose this Sunday, does that say anything about the AFC West in their standings? Yes. Because if the Raiders win, the Chargers lose, and the Broncos lose, the Raiders get second place. And here's the thing. They would literally only be 2 games behind Kansas City. Scary to think, right?
Kansas City at the end of the year in Vegas.
And who's to say that could be up for the AFC West grab? Ta-da! Scary to think that. But listen, I look at the New England Arizona game. New England's defense is fine. The offense is bad. Kyler Murray has thrown Cliff Kingsbury under the bus for 3 games in a fucking row. Like, the bus has run him over and reversed. Like,
Do we miss something? Nope.
Nah. Like, I don't know if you watched the Hard Knocks one in season, like with the Arizona Cardinals.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
And Buda Baker said something that, you don't need to wake the fuck up. I think he meant, now I understand that he meant everybody, coaching staff included. Because Buda cares. Buda Baker does care.
Yeah.
JJ Watt, he cares. Rondo Moore, he cares. I can't say the rest for everybody else. Like, I can't. I can't. It's just bad. It's just bad all the way around. So, Brandon, I ask you, man, who do you got, New England or Arizona?
I got Bill Belichick. As bad as Mac Jones and that offense is, and they are bad. Don't get that twisted. They are terrible.
It sucks. Oh, it sucks.
You know it's bad when the cornerback scores your receiving touchdown.
Not just a cornerback, a rookie 6th round cornerback.
What the fuck is going on? Listen, I get it, but good God, Kyler Murray, something's going to have to come to pass. Cliff Kingsbury is going to probably get released as a head coach, or he's going to probably take a job at Oklahoma, or he's going to go here. I don't fucking know. But again, Arizona, you got a top 10 pick this year. Keep losing. because we have a head coach in New Orleans.
You just want to give Sean Payton away.
Sean Payton. And shit, we would even add a receiver to you. We will give you Michael Thomas. Just give us the first round pick in next year's first round pick. And, hey, we give you Michael Thomas.
You are just trying to give away Sean Payton and Michael Thomas.
And a weapon. Congratulations. But I got New England. Winning this. Matt Judon is coming. And he will get a sack. Maybe two. I don't freaking know. The offensive line of Arizona is very shaky.
Listen, I'm gonna go with New England as well. And it's not because of talent. It's not because of health. It is because my choice is if I'm in the middle of the field and I look to my left, I see Bill Belichick on my left. I look to the right and I see Cliff Kingsbury. I'm gonna go with the man that has been in more Super Bowls than I'm gonna go with the man that has been coaching for a very long time than the man that just is half his age of Bill Belichick's coaching career. I'm gonna go with that guy. I'm gonna go with Bill Belichick. So yeah, give me the man that's seen more football than probably you'll ever remember. So yeah, give me that guy. Give me Bill Belichick. Give me New England over Arizona.
I like the Tom Brady and the book thing. This is literally the time where ESPN can pull up the stats and be like, Bill Belichick.
Like, dude.
Coach and a defense coordinator in more Super Bowls than Cliff Kingsbury has been alive. So we can just squash this shit. Really
How Arizona got another Monday night game after that Mexico fiasco, where not only did they lose, they had to send one of their coaches home because he got into a fight with Eno Benjamin, who's not even on the team anymore. This is Arizona's season, folks. Like, nobody wants to talk about it, but Arizona's been having a very, very shitty season. I mean, there's the whole Kyler Murray contract situation. Kyler Murray telling the whole media room that schematically we were fucked, pretty much throwing Cliff Kingsbury under the bus. You got Budda Baker crying in the middle of the freaking game, in the locker room saying, y'all need to wake the fuck up. I care about this shit. And then you got the Arizona running back coach being fired because he got into it with Eno Benjamin, who's not even on the team anymore. I'm just going to put it out there. Arizona cannot wait for the season to be over, man. They just cannot wait for it to be over.
Listen, Arizona fans, I have a head coach in New Orleans who isn't even coaching. He's on Fox right now. But I know he's coming back to coaching after this little quick-ass vacation he had. And we have his rights. And if John Gruden went for a first-round pick, I know Sean Payton.
John Gruden went for first.
I know Sean Payton go for at least a top 10. I'm pretty fucking sure. So,
do not throw this. Listen, John Gruden went for a first because John Gruden turned Rich Gannon into an MVP. Let's not get this twisted. John Gruden did some pretty incredible things in his first stint in Oakland. Like, let's not get this twisted.
He also had Jerry Rice and Tim Brown, so it wasn't that fucking hard.
No, that's like having Justin Jefferson and Devontae Adams, like, right fucking now. And it's like
Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson in the previous, right now in the NFL. Like, you're supposed to win.
Like, I'm surprised. Like, I would, like, if you had that, like, picture this. We're going to look back in 20 years. And, like, there's going to be people that are going to be born today in 20 years. Like, there's people born right now that don't realize what's going on. And when they look back 20 years from now, and when they look at that 2019 LSU team and they realize that they had Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, all on the same goddamn team, they're going to be like, how the hell did that happen? How the hell did that happen? And we're going to look at you and be like, hey, nobody saw this coming either. We were just as shocked as you were, but we knew they were damn good. And not only that, you look at the defensive players that LSU had at that time too, and you're just like, what is this? What is this? That was LSU, folks. That was LSU, and it was a good. Now, whatever the LSU you saw on Saturday, I don't know what the hell. I don't know what that was.
I'm trying to forget that game. That game was foreshadowing of an ass whooping that I knew was coming, but I still was.
You want to know when I knew the game was over, even though it was tied 0-0? when Jalen Carter picked up homeboy, the quarterback from LSU, picked him up, damn near put him on his shoulders, held him like a trophy, and put up the number one side. That's when I knew. I'm like, all right, that's enough of this shit. Click.
Yes, that was not good. That was not a good game.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Now, for the people that are wondering, where's Atlanta? Where's Chicago? Where's Green Bay? Where's Indianapolis? Where's New Orleans? And where's Washington?
At home.
There, all these motherfuckers need a bye for different reasons. Each one worse than the other. Like when you go from Atlanta, Chicago, it gets bad. Green Bay, no. How can I say? Aaron Rodgers is probably not even in Green Bay right now. Aaron Rodgers is like in the middle of the woods somewhere, or he's probably up in like Vermont in the middle of the woods away from everybody in Green Bay because he needs to get away. Like bye week could not come fast enough for Aaron Rodgers. And then you have Indianapolis, who they need this bye. They need this bye because
they need a whole new team. That's what's funny. They need a whole new
Indy,
team.
New Orleans, they just need to get away. And Washington just needs to drink because of tying with the Giants. But other than that, everybody else is playing. So I want you all to have a good time. Be safe. Have fun. Brandon, any final parting words before we say goodnight to our guest?
Any parting words? If you have Kansas City players, I suggest you play them all. I suggest you play every single Kansas City player you have. Because they're going to just score and score pretty damn easy. I do not see this game being anywhere near close. If you got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think he can even get a touchdown in this game.
Melvin Gordon's on the practice squad, but if he were to come up, try to get him on waivers and just,
this is, oh my God, this is going to be bad. Oh my God. Oh, this is going to be bad.
My parting words is same as yours, but in a different aspect. If you have Tony Pollard, if you have Dalton Schultz, if you have the kicker, the rookie kicker, if you have the Dallas defense, now is the best time to fucking start them because Houston, we got a problem.
Houston, we have an explosion on this shit's not good. Abort mission. It's not good.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure Houston's like, I can't wait for the season to be over because then it's like, you know what I love about this time of year? Because we're all expecting Houston to get the number one pick, and then when the season's over, they're gonna look at it and Houston is officially on the clock. No, they're not. They already know they already know what they're doing. They already know. They know. They know. It's okay. It's okay. We listen, we don't need the theatrics. We don't need any of that. Now, last year it was theatrical because we didn't really know what Jacksonville was doing. We really didn't know. So when it happened, that was real life, raw emotion of everybody going, wow.
I think it's safe to say Jacksonville didn't even know what the fuck they were doing.
Like, understand this. I was at the draft, and there was, like, cameras like, what do you think Jacksonville's doing? And we all looked at each other like, at this point, I don't think Jacksonville even knows what the fuck they're doing. And when they selected Walker, that was the best reaction. Because a few rows behind me, there's two Jaguar fans dressed up, face paint and a clown hair, rainbow hair wig, and the Jacksonville Jaguar jersey on. And I'm like, damn. And I'm like, damn. Damn. That's hurtful.
Just the hurt that you felt for them. Like, God damn it, I'm sorry, man.
I'm like, damn. Not as worse as the Houston fan that was right next to me when they picked up Derek Stingley over Seth Gardner. He was like, why? 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 Like, oof, my bad, man. Sorry, man.
You question your life choices. Like, why the Texans? Why?
Like, why? What are we doing? What is this? What is this? What is this?
Oh my God, it's so bad.
Oh man, but yeah, that's my parting words. If you have anybody in Dallas, play them in fantasy this week because it's Houston. If the Cleveland Browns defense can get you 30 points in fantasy, I can only imagine what the rest is gonna fucking do. So there it is. But as always, Brandon, It's awesome always talking to you, my man. I always have fun doing this with you. I want to thank everybody that did tune into the show today. We will be back next Wednesday with our Week 15 picks. Until then, it's your good old boy JR. That is Brandon. I will see you next time, my man. You have a wonderful night. Everybody, please be safe, warm. Peace.
Peace.